space there. Well, I think it's a follow-up to what I had said earlier at the United Nations in New York, which is that this is an urgent matter. It's not something we can keep talking about. We have to act, and we have to act sooner rather than later because the meter's ticking. And the problem is growing, and the solution has not been growing equal to the problem. So I think it's time to act quickly and very boldly. And so that was basically my message, and that's why I'm here to further that message, and the fact that I am involved with NRDC and have been for a long time because I consider them an organization that has the power to move things forward because they can go to court. Well, that can get personal for me because I grew up in California. I grew up in Los Angeles, and I grew up at a time at the end of my life began at the end of the Second World War. And Los Angeles was a very different city than it is now. And because it had no land use plan, it had no plan for how to sustain itself or how to deal with change, it just kept developing and developing and developing. And it became like a gold rush. People were coming in from all over the place with no holes barred. And as a result, I watched the city that I loved as a kid feel like it was disappearing under my feet because suddenly there was pollution, suddenly there were freeways, suddenly there were skyscrapers, and nobody was paying attention to what the future was going to look like. So for me, it's one of the reasons why I do not live in Los Angeles. There used to be a phrase many years ago, I remember, called NIMBY. And NIMBY was short for not in my backyard. And so many people were saying, I'm not going to concern myself with this issue because it doesn't really affect me. But the fact is, I think it's pretty clear now that this issue does affect everybody. And so that no longer applies, that you can't avoid the issue because it's not in your backyard. The fact is, it's in our backyard and it's here now, so that's why the people should get involved. I would probably say, okay, you people who deny this, let's just give it to you. Let's say there was no opposition to your point of view, which is you think development should be for everybody as much as you want. So you say, okay, what if you had everything you wanted? What if you could develop, drill, pump, frack to your heart's content? What would you do? Would you just go, what would you do? And have them try to answer that question rather than opposing as they go along or having them oppose you as you go along. You say, okay, you take it. What would you do? What would our world look like if you had your way?